How would you like it if the water got shut off in your house? Like you can't use the toilet, you can't shower, you can't wash your hands, you can't cook food pretty much, right? Like you can't get ice out of your just fridge. Like it's like, how would you want to live like that? Like who lives like that? Like, are we cavemen over here? Like, no, this sounds like camping. Like I don't want to do that. Well, a lot of homes currently don't have the water running on the property. You could say the water has been shut off. Well, what I want to do today is share with you one of the most valuable wholesaling real estate lists that nobody ever talks about, and that is the water shutoff list. The water shutoff list is an amazing motivated seller list because you just thought about it. No running water. I can't go dookie. I can't take my shower. I can't drink my water. I mean, I drink 2 gallons of water a dang day. Like I could never live in an area where it's got no running water. That is not fun for me and I don't want to be stinky. So that pretty much means no one, unless they're like a hobo, is living in these type of houses, which means they're just sitting there, rotting away and totally motivated. And the house probably is a little rough and beaten up. And the water's not running because the owner couldn't afford to pay the water bill or they decided to leave the property vacant. This smells like opportunity. Just like when you don't take a shower for a week, it smells of opportunity. It smells, right? So you need to start pulling the water shutoff list. And I know for a fact, most of you guys and gals out here ain't pulling the water shutoff list. And so let's break down exactly how we start pulling this list and start getting wholesaling real estate deals from it. A water shutoff list, again, is a list of all the properties where the water is not running on the house. Now, usually when you stop paying the water bill, the utility department will go out to your house, and every single county is obviously different, but there's usually a little valve or water meter right by the water meter. And the county has this like special tool. And when you stop paying, they go there and they just like turn it off, right? And no more running water. Now it's pretty apparent going to some of these houses. So if you live in like the Southeast or maybe during the summer in the North, right? When there's no sprinkler system at the house, like that house is going to get ugly too. But when you don't pay your water bill, the city just shuts down the water and you don't get any more water because why are you going to waste money, right? And now there's no more running water because you didn't pay the dang bill. Now, most of the time it happens not from that, but because I just sold my house and I want to change the water bill, but I'm going to say shut down the water on the day of the closing because I ain't paying for their water for half a day. And the county goes out there, they shut the water off, the house sells, they go, they're like, why is there running water? They call the water company, utility company, and they go out and then undo it, right? And technically that's a water shut off. And so most of them are unsold properties. So sometimes when you pull the list, you kind of get this mixed in, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get the difference. It's actually a pretty easy fix. But we only care about properties that got the water shut off due to, and this is very important, non-payment. People that did not pay their water bill. This is what's really important here. So let's start getting this data set. So how do we start getting this data set? Well, we just ask nicely like a good old boy. And we go to the local county's utility department or wherever in your city or county where they supply the water. Now this is very, very important, but the water has to be, the utility department or the water company or whatever has to be a public entity. Basically meaning that the government controls it or owns the water company. And so most of them are government owned, which is awesome. So we can go pull the data pretty dang quick and it's public and accessible for us. The good thing is I talk about government lists all the dang time, but when the government supplies the service, we can get data on it. So if the government owns the police department, right, which I hope they do, you can get a list for free of the arrest records or a list of police officers because you're a tax-paying citizen. And so you as a tax-paying citizen can get a list of all the water shutoffs if it's a public utility department. If it's like the city of Lexington, Kentucky water, most likely it's going to be a public utility. If it's like the Northman Brothers Water Company, most likely not, but you should still call and ask. I mean, why not? And when you get somebody on the phone, you can ask for all properties that got shut off of their water supply due to non-payment in the past 30 days. Now, the worst possible thing you can do when you try to get the water shut off list is say, give me the water shut off list. They're going to be like, bro, what are you talking about? I don't speak Esperanto. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, fun fact, don't go to the local county clerk of the court and say, give me pre-foreclosures. Like, they don't know what pre-foreclosures are, right? You ask for a list pendants, right? And so ask for a list of all the properties that got the water shut off due to non-payment. You got to say non-payment. That's very, very, very important. And every county has like a different name for it, right? They might say, oh, you mean the delinquent payment list? Like, sure. And then they all got different names for it, so that's okay. But make sure it's public and just ask for the non-payments. Now, sometimes they're just gonna give you a list of all the properties they shut the water off. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Just make sure you get the addresses on there. Now, the real question happens if they say, no, I'm not giving you that list. Screw off, I don't want to ever talk to you ever again. Well, most likely it's because you probably wore a New York Jets jersey there, and who's a Jets fan anymore? And they did have a right to kick you out. So just don't wear a Jets jersey. But as long as you don't do that, you shouldn't really have a problem. But if they do say no, and you're not wearing a Jets jersey, it's probably because you have some crazy clerk, in the front that feels like they're the guardian of the most secret military secrets that's classified in the world. That is super sensitive information. Like, girl, I'm not asking to get Area 51 coordinates and like the secrets of the aliens, okay? Like, I'm just asking for properties that got the water shut off due to non-payment. I'm not asking for military secrets here. But some of these ladies and guys will act like you're asking for CIA information, and so it's like, ugh. And so what you got to do is, unfortunately, you're just going to have to say, well, may I speak to your manager? And you're going to have to speak to him and say, hey, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I do have a right to get this information and see how my government departments are working. So can I please kindly ask for my own research, all the properties in the area that got shut off due to non-payment? They're like, you're a wholesaler. Why do you want this information? And if you say, well, because I provide a great solution of cash offers to properties, that is a bad idea. They're going to ask you, why do you want this information? I'm a tax-paying citizen doing independent private research. That's all you have to say. And hey, I'm doing a special project, just trying to figure out exactly which areas are getting the most water shut off, because it does affect environmental. Or say you're doing something about the environment and you're all hippie peace, I don't know, right? Whatever. If you got a Bob Marley shirt, put it on, I don't know. But usually that will work and you'll get the list. Now, if they're a lot more difficult and they're like, we're refusing to give it to you, you're going to have to file something called a FOIA request. A FOIA request stands for a Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, a FOIA request. And basically you're requesting to get the government data because Congress actually passed a law called the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA. And it's basically a law stating the full or partial disclosure of information controlled by the government. It's like a federal law, like the most important law we have in this land. And this thing was passed in like the 60s. This thing's been here forever. But you're gonna have to file a FOIA request basically stating like, if you don't give it to me, you're breaking federal law and you're probably gonna lose your job. Then from there, they kind of have to give it to you. Now, there's only really one state I've seen in water shutoffs that's been very affected by this, and this is Texas. Texas has some crazy like water shutoff like law. Like, it's very, very weird and stupid. And so for Texas, you just got to pull the utility lien. So get the liens and make sure the lien was put on by the utility department. I know that sounds stupid, but that's the best like workaround for it. Or they put a lien on it, but the lien is from the utility department. And then again, if you can't get the list, just get your utility lien. That's going to be your closest thing. And boom, you're going to get the water shutoff list. Sometimes they'll give you all the water shutoffs, right, of non-payment. So delinquent payments, right? That's awesome. They didn't pay the bill. Water got shut off. Cha-ching, we can go market that list. For about half, they're just going to give you a list of all the properties that got the water shut off because they're government workers and they don't want to work harder than they have to. So you kind of have like two choices here. If you get the notes of why the water got shut off, just throw that sucker into ChatGPT and let it organize it. But what I would probably do is just upload the data into XLeads, right? The best wholesaling real estate software out there. And then filter maybe 300 water shutoffs, throw inside of XLeads, and then filter out by sold dates. Then anything sold within the past 30 days, just get rid of that because those are just recently sold properties. And then all the properties that have been sold in like a year that are on the water shutoff list, those are the ones we want to deal with. We also want to look at properties that the water is shut off and it hasn't been turned back on in like years. Like, that's another really good wholesaling list. What we do is you skip trace it, we call it, text it, email blast it. Like, we kind of do everything we possibly can. Put a sticky note on the door knock. Like, I mean, ugh. If somebody answers that door, I don't really want to see who's behind it, but there are endless possibilities of the ways to go out here and market to these sellers. The most valuable part is getting that data set, getting it skip traced, and just marketing. And so that is how you pull the water shutoff list and for you to start getting wholesaling real estate deals that nobody else in your market's doing. You can't pull this list from any website or software, and it's a big secret, and you could start using it for success. And so guys, if you like this hidden secret information, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com, and I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.